How's it going, all you beautiful people? This is a third Pokemon market update, and what I'm doing is I'm getting the price of every single ETB from Scarlet and Violet base to Phantasmal Flames. And the reason why I'm using ETB prices is I don't want to exclude certain sets that don't have booster boxes. I know a lot of people talk prices and booster boxes, but I didn't want to exclude 151, Prismatic, so I decided to just use ETBs just to track how certain sets are doing based on their ETB prices. So this is the market update that we have today. Scarlet and Violet base Miraidon. It's around its all-time high. It doesn't have that huge volume, but the last sale 2 days ago was for $116, and the market price or the lowest listing. So how I'm getting these prices I'm using the lowest listing. The lowest listing price of a Scarlet and Violet Miraidon is $113.47, and that is a 23% increase from January 1st. So that's where you see YTD, that's year to date, and a 4.12% increase from last week. I'm not going to go over every single one of these. You can look at the table, but I'm just going to highlight certain ones that stick out to me. Scarlet and Violet base Koraidon. This is also at an all-time high or around its all-time high. The last five sales of this, $92, $96, $96, $100, and $97. And the lowest listing right now is $90, but as you can see from the last five sales, the last five have sold for more than $90, but I just put the $90 because I'm trying to stay consistent and pricing things out at lowest listing on TCG Player. But at the $90 listing, the week change is minus 6%, but year to date, it's still up 3.54%. Paldea Evolve stayed around the same. Obsidian Flames, it's around its all time high too. $160, which is lower than last week when it was a lowest listing was $163.99. But it is around its all-time high. Last five sales, 154, 163, 163, 164, 165. That the last listings on TCG Player don't include shipping, so this 154 could have sold for 154, or it's 154 plus a certain amount of shipping, but those are the last five sold. 151. Now, this is something that's going crazy. It is basically at its all time high. And just from January 1st to now, so January 1st, it was about $376. January 8th, it was about $378. And today, the lowest listing is $407 for a 151 ETB. That means that the week change is 7.68% change week change, and the percent year to date change is 8.28%. But this is crazy. A 151 ETB is over $400 now. And a very important thing about this is I'm sure a lot of you guys know, but all the sets from Scarlet and Violet base to Paldean Fates. So Scarlet and Violet base, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, 151, Paradox Rift, and Paldean Fates will be going out of print in April. So what's going to happen to 151? What's going to happen to all these other sets that I'm going through? So I'm going through the list, and this is categorized by when they came out. So you'll see that Scarlet and Violet base to Paldean Fates, they're all going to go out of print. But it's crazy that 151 is at $407. What do you think about that? Do you think 151 ETBs are justified at $407? I will say that one thing about 151 is there were a lot of tins around, there are a lot of collection boxes around. I don't know the last time that I saw 151 ETB in the wild. So that might be why it does hold a premium. I mean, a 151 ETB is a lot more expensive than 151 booster bundle, and a 151 booster bundle has almost as many packs. Two booster bundles have more packs than one 151 ETB. And a booster bundle last time I checked was like $125, so two booster bundles are $250. One 151 ETB is $407. So that's just, it holds that premium. But anyways, moving on. Paradox Rift, there's two different ETBs. Iron Valiant, it's at an all-time high. Last five sales 105, 96, 94, 101, 98. Paradox Rift Roaring Moon, it dipped a little, but not much change other than that. Paldean Fates is another crazy one. So Paldean Fates is close to an all-time high, and since January 1st, it went from 264 on January 1st, 269 on January 8th, to $296 lowest listing on TCG Player today. That's a 10.12% week change from this week to last week, and a 12.03 year to date change from today compared to January 1st. This is another insane increase. I mean, as you can see, 151 and Paldean Fates are the two strongest sets of these six sets that are going to go out of print in April. I'm kind of curious to see where these prices are going to go. Where do you think these prices are going to go for these six boxes, especially 151 and Paldean Fates? It's just crazy to see prices of ETBs this high. But anyways, Temporal Forces, Iron Leaves, EX, and Temporal Forces, Walking Wake, and Twilight Masquerade, Shrouded Fable. Not much change. I mean, Shrouded Fable is up 9% year to date. Temporal Forces, Walking Wake is up 14.55% year to date. But the week changes of these sets didn't really change too much. Stellar Crown, I put $90.25. There's one listing for $90.25 for four ETBs, and the next one is $92.25. So there's a $2 increase from the first and second lowest listings. Surging Sparks. This was one of the ones in my first video that I said is slept on, and I think is very underrated right now. Surging Sparks is at a 3-month high right now. And in the last, since January 1st, it's gone from 69.15 on January 1st to 74.98 on January 8th to $78 today. So we're seeing these prices go up. The last five sold, all $80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80. So I think Surging Sparks is underrated. I don't think Surging Sparks is the worst set in this list, but coming into the year, it was one of the cheapest ETBs or the cheapest ETB with Twilight Masquerade on this list, and I do not think that it is the second worst set on this list. Prismatic Evolutions. This is one of the ones I think is also very underrated. They printed Prismatic Evolutions like crazy, but the prices are still holding up strong. So I have the price at $124.97, and there hasn't been much change in Prismatic Evolution since January 1st. But there's three cheaper listings than $124.97, but they're all damaged, so I went with the $124.97. But the thing with Prismatic Evolutions is the volume is extremely high. I checked when I made this list and updated the prices. There were 11 Prismatic Evolution sales today, ETB sales today. And there were 18 Prismatic ETB sales yesterday. And that's a lot higher than a lot of other things on this list. Journey Together, it's near an all-time high. So it hasn't really changed much, but it has been hovering near its all-time high. Destined Rivals, another set that's just going on fire. I know that there's been Destined Rivals single packs that have been in the wild, but I don't think there's been many. I don't even know if there has been a restock of Destined Rivals ETBs. But Destined Rivals has gone from $133.91 to $139.91 the next week to $148.99 this week. That's a 6.49% week change and an 11.26% year to date change. So Destined Rivals is going a bit crazy. And then to follow the end of the list, Black Bolt, White Flare, Mega Evolutions, Mega Gardevoir, Mega Evolution, Mega Lucario, Phantasmal Flames. They all haven't seen much movement. Phantasmal Flames had a bit of an increase from this week to last week from $75.99 to $79.95. But overall, The market looks really strong. A lot of people are saying that there's going to be a crash like going into this year because of the big dip in 2025 to end the year, that Pokemon cards were going to go down. And this is why I'm starting this series. I think that people can talk with their feelings, people can talk about what they want, but what they can't do is they can't see the data and then say it's not true. So the data is definitely showing that prices are increasing. So all these ETBs together on January 1st, 2026, they're valued at $2,506.04. On January 8th, they were $2,585.72. And on January 15th, they were $2,651.40. That's a 5.8% year to date change. I don't know if any of you guys are investors, but to get a 5.8% increase in 2 weeks is pretty good, especially because there's some diversification here. I just chose every single ETB. I didn't cherry pick the ETBs that I thought were going to do the best. I just chose every single ETB from Scarlet and Violet Base of Phantasmal Flames. And this is what we have. Now, let's see the change from percent year to date change. If you take a look, there's four ETBs: Temporal Forces, Iron Leaves EX, Journey Together, Stellar Crown, and Paradox's Roaring Moon that have dropped since January 1st. All the other ones have gone up in price. So you'll see the ones that have gone up most percentage wise in price and the ones that didn't. The ones that stick out to me, I mean, Scarlet and Violet Base, Miraidon, 23.23% year to date change. There's not much volume in this, so I mean, the prices will fluctuate a lot because I'm taking lowest listing, and if someone just buys a couple of the ETBs, then the lowest listing will be a lot higher. But there's some things that stand out. Surging Sparks, the volume's a lot higher. It's up 12.8% since January 1st, and this is one of the ones that I said that I think is very slept on. Paldean Fates up 12.03% year to date. Destined Rivals 11.26%. 151 8.28%. But overall, I think the market is really strong. I mean, if you look at the data of just these ETBs, and I know these ETBs are just a small subset of the market. There's single cards, there's booster boxes, booster bundles, collection boxes. I just chose ETBs because every set from Scarlet and Violet Base of Phantasmal Flames has an ETB. You'll see that the market is definitely recovering. I know this isn't good news for a lot of people because for some reason a lot of people in the Pokemon hobby want the Pokemon market to crash. And I kind of understand because if it does crash, people will be able to get products and open them for fun. But I feel like I'd rather have a market that's doing well than a market that dies. Because if Pokemon dies, let's say it actually does crash and ETB prices go to $5. I mean, that's never going to happen, but let's just say it goes to $5. Everyone's going to leave the hobby. There's going to be no hype. When you go to card shows, it's going to be empty. When you meet other Pokemon people, there's not going to be that many Pokemon people around. So I personally want the market to do well. I mean, what do you think? But looking at this data, looking at, I'm sure, prices that you've seen yourself, what do you think about the Pokemon market overall to start 2026? Do you think it's going in a good direction? Do you think that Ascended Heroes is going to take this overboard and then we're going to start this new craze of Pokemon where everything starts pumping like crazy, like we saw in parts of 2025? Let me know in the comments what you think and what you want to happen in this Pokemon market. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week for the market update. But I'll be posting more from now until next week, so I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Take care.